This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm joined by a soon-to-be Olympian, Frazer Clarke, over Zoom. Frazer, how does it feel? You finally qualified after years of hard work, years of waiting. You finally got your chance to go to the Olympics this summer.
Yeah, it's a great feeling, like you say, long time, a long build up. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time, and proud of myself and happy to finally get there.
Let's just start off with this tournament. You've just come back from France. Just reflect on it for me. How did you feel out there? Did you feel the pressure? Did you feel the nerves?
Yeah, I really did. I'll be dead honest with everyone, like I have been. I felt really nervous. This was make or break for me, so I feel like coming back and looking, I'm not too happy with my performances, but I went there to do a job and I got the job done, so that's the most important thing. But definitely, I'm a lot better than I showed in that tournament. But I feel like nerves played a big part and didn't work for me. If anything, do you know what I mean? They probably had a lot of tension in my body and stuff.
How would you sum up that experience of being out there, knowing what was on the line, what was at stake, something you had worked so hard for the past however many years you've been with GB?
Horrible. No other way to put it. It wasn't an enjoyable experience at all until I qualified. After that, it was like a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. But up until that point, sleeping was horrible. Being awake was horrible. Thinking of fighting was horrible. Actually, fighting was horrible because I didn't feel myself. But I knew, it's not just me; it's the same for everyone. So it was sort of who can do what they need to do under that pressure, and I managed to do it. I think my experience definitely told and helped me. But still, I wasn't a fraction of myself, to be honest. I was a completely different fighter to what I am, but I got the job done.
You said you was a fraction of yourself. Would you put that solely down to the situation, the scenario, the nerves, or would you say one of the other, what I would imagine, key factors were because of COVID? There haven't been many tournaments on for you guys. There hasn't been much competitions being out there because of COVID. You haven't been able to travel. Did that play its part?
No, no, not at all. No excuse. I mean, I got what I needed to be done. But I'd boxed about 4 weeks, 5 weeks ago before the tournament. Won the gold medal. Boxed really well. 3 great performances. I boxed in February. Won the gold medal again. 3 good fights. 3 good performances. Purely, I think this one was down to nerves because there was so much on the line. Getting over the line to be an Olympian is such a big thing for me. That usually I get into the ring since I was 13, 14. I've always been nervous, same as everyone gets. You get them butterflies. Usually, the second I step into the ring, then butterflies disappear, and I sort of use them. They sort of become good for me. This time, I put my foot in the ring, and the lead boots came on. I felt like I had arm weights on. Just the pressure, tension in my body it's a feeling I can't really describe to people. That amount of pressure, and you can do all the work in training, working with psychologists and everything else. When it actually come to it, that amount of pressure for me was the most pressurized situation I've ever been in my life.
I was about to ask Fraser, has there been any other moments in your boxing career where you have felt the pressure that you've just said there, where it's actually made you feel like you've got lead in your boots?
Not like that, no. Like I say, I've been in big moments, European finals, Commonwealth finals, and I've never felt that sort of pressure ever. That was it was a feeling I wouldn't wish on anyone. It'd be great for people to experience that sort of feeling, but it's hard to get stakes like that and actually get that scenario. Do you know what I mean?
You was unfortunate to lose the bout after qualifying. Just talk to me about that, Fraser, because it was I actually watched fight. It was a very difficult and a very kind of fast-paced fight. So how would you assess your performance in that?
Yeah, you know what? I actually felt a lot more relaxed in that fight. In the changing rooms, there was a different feel. There was, half the amount of people about during in the changing rooms, and I was relaxed. My warm up was a lot better. I felt the sharpest that I felt all week on the pads. And then this is amateur boxing. I made a mistake. I had a switch off at the end of the first round. lost the first round probably for the last 40 seconds of the round. Took about 6 or 7 shots. Didn't reply good enough and lost that round. I felt like I come back and won the second too. But when you lose the first round in an amateur contest over 3 rounds, you're on an uphill battle. I don't think I performed that bad. I just probably didn't have that consistency and that little switch off. It was a good lesson because that can cost you in an amateur bout. You have 9 minutes, and if you switch off for 40 seconds, that's a big chunk of one of your rounds. Do you know what I mean? So it was a good lesson. Luckily enough, there was nothing on the line. But in future, definitely I'm going to learn from that because I'm always learning, and that was a good experience for me.
I saw the video of when you arrived back in the UK, being greeted in your hometown. What was it like to have those types of celebrations for you, and how did you actually celebrate when you came back?
Oh, I felt good, that did feel really good. To see that appreciation. And I think the thing is with the people of Burton, we're a small town, and I've got my family, good people. My missus, she did a blinder, and she got everyone together for me. All my family, my friends. They know what's gone into it. Over the years, everyone knows my story. Everyone knows the ups and downs because we're a small community, and people get behind me. Do you know what I mean? People follow my journey. They're quite popular through the town. People know me, and they know what goes into it. So it was an amazing feeling, to feel appreciated. And I'm one of these people. They are no different to me. The people I grew up with. I'm no big dog or anything like that. I mean, yeah, I'm going to the Olympics, but I'll be surrounded by these people when I come back, just like I will be before I go. So it was good to have all them around me. And yeah, how did I celebrate? I'll be dead. I was dying for. I wanted a Chinese because since New Year's Eve, since New Year, I've been like, this whole since New Year this year, I've been so good. I've been near enough perfect. So I wanted a Chinese and I wanted a pint of beer, and I did both. I needed to, mentally, I needed to. So yeah, it helped me out, and come back to Monday, and now I'm back in training mode.
Frazer, before we do come on to what's next, just a word as well on all of the teammates of yours who were also able to qualify and those who weren't. Just being in and around everybody for the joyous occasions, what was it like to see so many people who you've trained with for years and in this current cycle of GB fighters to see them achieve their dreams as well?
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I'm a big team player. You ask anyone in the team, I try and support everyone as much as I can and use my experience to pass on to everyone else. It was fantastic to see everyone qualify, but at the same time, equally, it was heartbreaking for me personally to see my teammate Lewis Richardson. He had the most unfortunate of draws. He boxed Kisniach, who's world number 1 and an unbelievable fighter from the Ukraine. He didn't get over the line, but he did give such a good performance. I'm proud of him forever, and he should be proud of himself. It's put him in good stead because the next few years. Remember, the Olympics are only in 3 years now after this, so he's in a great position. The way he performed against such a formidable opponent, he's in a great position. So it was difficult to be so proud because the one of them that didn't get over the line. He just had a terrible draw. If the draw had gone, when that button got pressed in London for that draw, if he'd gone on any other side, he'd have qualified 1,000,000%. So even though I was so made up for everyone, I've seen a lot of people, a lot of passion. I've seen what everyone goes through. For Lewis not to qualify, but he left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth, and I was a little bit gutted for him. Well, I was massively gutted for him. But like I say, he's a great character. He's someone that you need in a team. He lost his fight. He didn't qualify. He knew he wasn't going to qualify. After that, he was at every single other fight for the lads and the girls. He was there cheering everyone on, giving instructions, positive vibes, no sulking. Absolute epitome of a top class teammate.
Frazer, just a word now moving forwards on what's next with regards to preparations. When do things start to get underway for the tournament for yourselves before you fly out?
Well, we go to I think on Monday I go to Birmingham at the NEC for the kitting out. So that's always quite a big deal. You get all your kit and stuff like that, and then straight from there back down the M42 and M1 to Sheffield, and then back into training really Monday to Friday, 5 days. resting on the weekend, be a quiet like 3-4 weeks, quiet in the sense of training, eating, sleeping, and not a lot else going on. And then after that, we go to Tokyo. Obviously, I think we're there. We're in like a 2-week holding camp, doing some training. We'll do some training there, and I think we're being lucky enough to take a couple of sparring partners over there. So we can carry on the preparations in that camp, just to stay sharp. And then then we get down to the business, the tournament. The business side of things. So it's about getting there, being mentally prepared, being physically prepared, and I need to have the best 4 or 5 fights of my life and give everything, which I always do, and hopefully that can bring me the gold medal back. Tough task because there's some great fighters in the division, but fully believe in myself, believe in the team. I'll be giving good performances and doing whatever I can to get over the line.
Frazer, I'm sure I speak for everybody from the UK who will be wishing you nothing but the best when you do fly out and compete in Tokyo. Just to find a few things before I let you go over, just some heavyweight talk in the professional ranks and get your thoughts on. We're in the middle of obviously this Wilder Fury, well, I'd say middle of a media tour. They had a press conference the other day. What do you make of what Fury Wilder 3, the fallout from the AJ Fury fight not happening, and Deontay's approach to their press conference? They had a 6-minute face-off, Tyson and Deontay was very quiet throughout the press conference. What do you make of it all?
He's an idiot in a nutshell. Deontay Wilder. I've lost a little bit of respect. I understand that he wanted the fight. He lost his fight. He lost last time. He wants the rematch and stuff like that. But then to go to the press conference and say nothing, I think Tyson Fury conducted himself very well. Typical Tyson Fury fashion, entertaining, and he brutally honest. Deontay Wilder, we've seen it all before. Come on, mate, just say a few words. You know what I mean? There's people that are going to pay to tune into this fight, pay your wages. Have some common courtesy. Say a few words. You don't want to say much, don't say much. But don't sit there with headphones on and your shades on like a gangster. You know what I mean? It's just looks like an idiot for me. Fury did, like I say, he went out there and he entertained like he always does. Some things come out of his mouth are a bit crazy, but a lot of the time, when he's speaking the truth, which he does quite often, to be honest, it's entertaining. He comes across really well, I think. Anyway, really gutted for Joshua. If anyone, he's the one I feel sorry for. He wanted that fight, was so up for that fight, and was preparing for that fight for a long time. I can remember I had a phone call probably 9 days after he boxed Pulev. We had a conversation. He asked me to go down and do some sparring with him at Finchley, and I thought, you've boxed 9 days ago. What kind of machine are you? You've boxed 9 days ago, and you're back in the gym wanting some sparring, some technical sparring. Nothing mad, because he's not stupid, but that just shows you the level of Anthony Joshua. He's a different animal. He really does live the life. To be sitting on. Everyone knows that Anthony Joshua was sitting on a few quid, but he has the mentality of a challenger. To be back in the gym 9 days after, and he's been in the gym. He's not in camp, but in the gym learning all the time since the Pulev fight. And I think it was all mainly geared towards Tyson Fury. And then for that to have that taken off you, especially after the years of build up, we've had Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury on our tongue and in our mind for years. It just hasn't happened. So to have all that build up, and I'm sure he thought it was over the line. So did I. So did a lot of people. To have it taken away, it wouldn't be a good feeling at all. So I'm gutted for Joshua, but he's a solid professional, and no matter who they put in front of him, he'll adapt and he'll do the job. I'm sure of it.
Something I was going to ask you. Next up, firstly, just your thoughts on the Fury Wilder trilogy. What do you think will happen? Anything different? And also, what seems most likely, AJ versus Alexander Usyk?
I mean, I have to go with Tyson. I have to back Tyson. I want him to win. He's the Brit. I want him to win for the sake of the Joshua fight, and I think he's just a better fighter. Has Deontay Wilder got a puncher's chance? Of course he has. He's got a massive puncher's chance against anyone. But Tyson Fury's got better. Definitely got better over the last 2 years. The partnership with Sugar Hill seems to be unbelievable, to be honest. I really like what they're doing. He's been in America for probably 8 weeks now, I think, and he's taking it very seriously out there. But I think he's had his fun, and now it looks like he's took a bit of a social media back off and he's into deep training. I seen on Instagram yesterday, Jared Anderson, really good heavyweight from America. I seen he posted a sparring with him, so he's getting good work, really good work. I think he prepared properly, and I think Tyson does a job with him again. If he doesn't make him look silly and outpoint him, then he probably definitely gets a stoppage again. I'd say probably midway through the fight, six rounds maybe.
And then obviously the other one being AJ-Usyk seems most likely. Frazer, just your thoughts on it?
Yeah, well, it's the only other fight to take, really, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's what I think people do want to see it. It's not as much as Fury and Joshua, but it's an interesting one, definitely. Usyk's a great fighter. He's done everything at cruiserweight. He's come up to heavyweight. Hasn't looked as good as a heavyweight, to be honest, but he possesses, really good skills. And I think Joshua, has to be up for it and has to go out there and show his professionalism, show why he's the heavyweight champion of the world. And I'm not saying it's going to be an easy fight because I think it'd be far from it. But I think when you're the champion of the world, you have to adapt, and whatever's put in front of you, you deal with it. So I'm banking on Joshua being the ultimate professional that he is, going out there and taking care of business, and probably in a devastating fashion, to be honest.
Final one, somebody else you know very well, Joe Joyce. He had his next opponent lined up and announced Joyce-Takam. What do you make of that one?
Good fight. I feel like Joe Joyce, I think it's time people start putting a bit of respect on his name. He's really up there with the big boys. Anyone they put in front of him, he smashes them. He goes through them and he smashes them. So this is a tough opponent, stubborn opponent. Joyce-Takam, experienced, tough, dangerous, but Big Joe is he's one of a kind. Really is. I don't feel like Takam has the boxing ability to keep Big Joe off. Yeah, he can punch a bit, but I think Big Joe runs through him like a steam train. To be honest, you're gonna have to be careful because obviously we're in the heavyweight division and one punch changes it. But yeah, I'd like to see Joe, get this one out of the way. It's probably the best of the rest fight sort of thing. And to be honest, I'm sure they're not queuing up to fight Joe Joyce. Sam Jones and Frank Warren must have an absolute horrible job in hands trying to find an opponent for Joe Joyce, because I imagine, by the looks of it, no one really wants to fight him, which I don't blame him for. I've done it 4 times and it ain't nice. But yeah, Big Joe, wish him all the best, and he'll come through this. Hopefully, eventually he gets his chance at the big one.
Right, Frazer, we'll leave that there now. I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. But like I always like to do, final word to yourself, for everybody who supported you, followed you, and will continue to do so on your route towards Tokyo and beyond. Just a message to them.
First of all, just thank you for the support I've had so far. The social media has gone crazy, and I can't thank you all enough. And we've had a terrible 2 years as the whole world, and especially as a country with this coronavirus. Hopefully, support me in the Olympics, and I think we're coming to the end of this now. The country can be lifted by all those guys that are going to the Olympics, Team GB. So I'm going to try and do you proud. I'm sure everyone else is, and get behind me, please. Sing from the rooftop, scream my name, and it really does mean a lot. So thank you very much.
Frazer, I was going to ask as well, is it coming home?
It's coming home.
Frazer, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
No worries. Take care.